We did not get the revolution by the bullet. We can as well get the revolution by the ballot.
If you have your card, you tell your neighbor why it is important for young people to pick their card.
Utachukua 50k to sell your votes.
Kitu mbona nasema nachukua hiyo 50,000.
Ukiuza kura, you've sold your power.
Never doubt that a small group of committed young people can make change. Why? Because it is the only thing that has ever done so.
As young people wameenda shule na wanaona the way nominations are being given out, what does it make you feel?
On the issue of Gaucho being nominated, unajua sasa watu walisema wanataka mama mboga, vijana wa bodaboda na nani wawekwe kwa negotiation tables and committees. And then sasa wanawekwa wanasema tusiwaweke. Sasa tuko tu hapo hatuelewi.
Lakini ngoja.
Hey there and welcome to Fanya Mambo Africa. Super excited. This is our second episode of Alfa House Debates and we are happy. Today we are coming to you live from Baraza Media Lab in industrial area and we are happy to have so many young people on set who are here to register number one as voters and also to get a point of civic education, because why we are here, Kenyans have been saying they want change, they want a better country, and for us to have that better country, we need civic education and we need people to get their voters card. Wangapi wako kadi hapa? TukoKadi? Ah, very nice. Napenda sana. That's very good. So with me in studio today, I will start from the extreme right. I have none other than Rasta Pastor, the poet himself, Willie Oeba. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
You're good?
I'm good, Mungu anasaidia.
Uko kadi?
Niko kadi.
Napenda sana.
Asante.
Very good. Karibu. Next to Willie, we have an MCA from Muranga, none other than Sharleen. Sharleen, salimia watu.
Hi guys, mkoaje?
Next to me, I have none other than Mr. Wabebe himself.
Yes, sema Wabebe! Sema Wabebe!
Wale TukoKadi again, nataka kusikia sauti
TukoKadi.
TukoKadi. I love it. Now, that's where we are starting this conversation because we are here because TukoKadi na tunataka as many people as possible waingie kwa hii movement ya TukoKadi, sio? So I'll start with Willis here because he's next to me. Why is it important for young people to, number one, register as voters? Juu, unajua sasa we're in a country where we've gotten to a point where people vote, handshakes come, and then sasa nilivote alafu. So why is it important for me kuwa kadi?
I think number one, it's very important for young people to be candid because of a few things. Number one is that for over the years, we've had the statement, the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. I want to make the announcement that tomorrow is now. Today is tomorrow. Today is actually tomorrow. So it is important because if you want to exercise, you see how when I'm talking right now you can hear me. Why? Because I'm using my voice. So for you to be heard on the ballot, for you to be heard to make change, for you to be heard in a way that matters, it means lazima uchukue kura. It is kwa kizungu kubwa tunasema foolhardy. It is foolhardy for somebody to say hii gava haifanyi kazi, hii gava haifanya nini, lakini hata huku participate in the process. If you voted for somebody else, or if you actually voted, if you are among the people who actually voted for President William Ruto, if you have a right, because you voted, to ask, how come fuel leo ni 196? How come 800 million imespendiwa State House kujenga State House, lakini kuna watu wanasoma chini ya mti? You have a right. But if you don't, you don't have really, because the basic simple democratic process you have not participated in. And when we say TukoKadi, it doesn't necessarily mean that we are saying ni one term, ni two term, ama ni mid term. It is first of all kuwa nayo, and then you have about 400 and something days to the next election to decide who it is anakuuzia sera that looks like something that you want. But the way you can do that is if you have the kadi. So it is important for you to register as a voter, because if you want to, yes, at our leaders of tomorrow, you can't be a leader of tomorrow if you're not voted in. Yeah, so you need to register to be a voter, so that then when you have a right to vote. Remember, presidential elections inashindwa na 50+1.
Yeah.
So inamaanisha hiyo, if it was 8,699,621, kama ilikuwa imefika 5,699,620 and you are the one that crosses it over, it means you actually matter. So for the young people who are it says 75% of this country are young people, and then there's a smaller percent who are actually in the age of 18 to 24, but it still matters. If you can get 2 million young people who can vote a certain direction, it means it is important. So tafadhali, if you haven't already and you're watching this, please chukua kadi so that you can participate. Do not rob yourself of the chance of participating in a democratic process. It is your right to vote. You have a right to vote. Once you're a voter, you have a right to remove,
The person you voted.
yes, to recall, and then also to demand. Tukienda kwa, and I know Sharleen is going to speak next. If the people who voted are in, waseme hai hapo hujafanya kazi, ama to reward enyewe umefanya kazi, wacha tukuongeze. But you have to have the vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Sharleen, he starts something about sisi kama wananchi demanding when we vote. How is it for you now that umekuwa in government, sort of, let's say you're in government because you're serving in the county government, and what does it mean for you in terms of the responsibility that you owe to these people?
Thank you so very much for that question. And before I answer your question, I want to say first of all, TukoKadi, mimi kama Sharleen Wambui, and my polling station is going to be Kombe Primary School, where I'll be casting my vote on 8th of August 2027. I want to say as well, the reason why the young people of this nation wanafaa kuwa kadi, it's because we've been having issues of people saying that government is not working. The outgone government has not worked, the incoming government has not worked. So many things that have arisen from young people. The best weapon to deal with leaders that are not working is that kadi yenye tunasema. Iyo kura yako, it is the greatest weapon that you can use against or for the leaders you want in the coming 2027 general election. And I love this conversation because I endeavor to have an engagement with the young people, because there has to be a breaking point to when the young people have to come in place and demand for what they want. It's everybody's right, by the way, when a government is elected to power, just as Willie said here. But if you did not elect or de-elect a leader, you do not have a right to question them. First, because you did not participate in your democratic right to vote in a leader or vote out a leader. So to the young people of this nation, I'm calling upon you all to take your voter registration cards so that next year, 2027, we will not be singing the very same song that we've been singing for the longest time. I'm 30 years of age, and of course I have participated previously in elections actively and progressively. And so for me, I voted in 2022. So when the leader I voted for does not meet to the demands that I'm asking for, I have a right to question that leader. But if I did not vote for a leader, I do not have a right to ask that leader a question, because I did not vote. I was just a bit arrogant and ignorant not to vote. So to the young people, first and foremost, is to tell you to get your voter's card and to tell you that your voter card really matters a lot. It will define how you live for the next 5 years. It will define how you eat for the next 5 years. Your voter registration card is going to determine anything that you do for the next 5 years. That's the reason I say your voter card is the strongest weapon you can use against leaders or for the leaders that you so want in this country. I'm privileged, of course, to be serving under the leadership of Governor Irungo Kangata in Murang'a County. And the beauty about being in Murang'a and being a legislature in Murang'a County is that we have one of the best governors. Our governor is collaborative, and our governor is also very consultative. Before he does anything, he comes to the county assembly and asks our opinions and ideas about programs that we want to run. Previously, I said that I'm the chairperson of the Youth and Sports Committee. It's a very big title in the assembly because I oversee and oversight anything young people. When we got into Bunge, for the last 10 years, Murang'a County Youth had no program that was running to benefit them. And so when I got into Bunge, I had a choice to relax because I am nominated, by the way. I had an option to relax and just sit back and sit pretty, or I had an option to stand up and register for the people that I was oversighting for. That is the young people. I came up with a program called the Murang'a County Youth Service Policy. It's a policy in Bunge that endeavors to see that we support young people, 30 young people per ward every financial year, so that we can employ them. They sweep our shopping centers, and also after 1 month we take them to polytechnics and get technical skills. Things like crockery, things like hairdressing, things like plumbing, so they have technical skills. And then after that, after a month later after training, we give them 15,000 shillings for them to start business. We understand the high level of unemployment in this country. Murang'a has not been left out. Of course, we have young people who went to school, got skills, got degrees, got diplomas. They have the technical skills. But unfortunately, they do not have opportunities whereby they can exercise their skills. So I had an option to just sit down in the assembly and look pretty, or go hands-on and make sure I come up with a program together with my committee members and the members of the County Assembly of Murang'a to come up with a program that was going to engage the young people. And so we came up with the Murang'a Youth Service. So on the issues of asking our leaders accountability, it is very key. Because every 5 years, we elect new leaders. Every 5 years, we get a new parliament. Right now, we're on the 13th parliament. Next year, 2027, we'll be bringing in the 14th parliament. And so we must start asking ourselves, since the time when we started electing our leaders, have anything changed? Since the time devolution was introduced to us 10 or 14 years ago, what has changed? It is very important for the young people of this country to wake up and demand answers, because at the end of the day, they are the biggest shareholders of this country. But that notwithstanding, we should ask questions and make sure we participate in the electoral process before and even after the campaigns and elections. So it's very important for young people to become serious pre-electoral process and post-electoral process. Pre means you have to vote in. Post means you will have to ask questions after you have voted in your leaders when you elect them. So it's very important for people to ask for accountability. And Sarah, let me tell you this even before we continue. During the Gen Z 2024 Maandamano, I was supporting the peaceful Maandamano on 24th of June, because there was nothing much that the young people were not asking for. They were asking for accountability. They were asking to be shown what is happening, what is working, what is not working, where can we change, which systems can we change, and which systems can we run with. So at that particular moment, I remember I supported them even on social media, everywhere I supported them. Unfortunately, hakukosangi wale watu wanataka kuharibu kila kitu. Those people who see opportunities, the young people are out here agitating for something, and then some few elements behind the curtains there, they think it's an opportunity for them to push their own agenda. That was very disrespectful of them, because the young people woke up and mobilized. The young people woke up to ask questions of accountability, questions that have been enshrined in the Constitution. But unfortunately, some people saw it good to just enter into the peaceful protest and picketing of the young people and take advantage. But I want to encourage each and every young person. We might not have achieved everything, or you might not have achieved everything during the 2024 Gen Z Maandamano, but I can assure you, you made a solid it will go down in history that you made a solid decision and you shook the country. You shook every part of this nation because they saw the young people of this nation are no longer asleep. They are woke, they are elite, they are people that are going to ask and hold leaders accountable in the coming elections and in the coming years. Asante.
Okay, that's great to hear that. Is there anyone from Murang'a County? Hakuna mtu wa Murang'a hapa? Okay, pole, hauna vote hapa. Lakini, I was going to ask kama wame experience the working of Kang'ata, but it's okay. Willie,
yes.
Sharleen has spoken about pre-election, election, and post-election. You and Ademba have been pushing people with this TukoKadi initiative. Do you feel young people wanatokea enough to register? And when you talk to these young people, because tuko wengi hapa watu young, do they understand why they need to get the card?
Asante. Kwanza uliniambia niombe makofi.
Itabidi waombe.
Wewe nikisema design unasema design. Muko kadi? Yes, the young people wanafaa watoke out ku register because elect ama freedom ya ku participate democratically in electoral process iko enshrined in the Constitution chapter 4 article number 38. And young people, because even I like touch about the protest in 2024, because even the young people that you see vehemently wakitokea kwa street, wakienda kuregister, wanapanga even long lines, even the young people that are here, most of these people were out in the streets during the clamor for change in 2024 and last year in 2025. And there was a propaganda by the government, that these young people wenye wanaenda ku demonstrate hawana kura, hao wanaenda KFC, sijui wanaenda wapi. Mothers, talk to your children. Fathers, talk to your children, because they were trying to infantilize the clamor for change and make it feel like even history ya Gen Z ilitoka from the majority leader Kimani Ichung'wah. Yeye ndo alisema Gen Z, because he was trying to infantilize and pick on the youngest generation in the society. Ndio ikae watu wanaandamania vitu zenye si important. So now kila time maandamano ilikuwa inaitwa, walikuwa na turn against us na wana make inakuwa kama ni conflict ya generations. Hao watoto wanaenda kwa street na hata hawana kura. So we said, we did not get the revolution by the bullet, we can as well get the revolution by the ballot. And reminding people of Article 38 of the Constitution and Article 83 that says every citizen who is above 18 has not committed electoral malpractice in the last 5 years and of sound mind, anafaa kuwe na kura, so that we can change this country. So the young people out there wanajua, and the young people out there pia wanatusaidia kufanya civic education. So because it doesn't stop just at registering, because people can register because of the euphoria. But now we want to do even civic education together with the young people. And then kukuwe na face ya tutoke tupige kura. Alafu hii kura tunapiga, nani tunavotia na ni nani atuvoti. Story ya tribalism tuliwacha na nini tunaangalia track record. So I'm really proud of the young people. Jipigieni makofi, hapo ndo mnapiga makofi. Yeah, so the young people have come out strongly. And even when we started in Kasarani, shout out to Ademba. It was on 12th HSC.
Sifuna amesema Ademba apewe HSC. Apewe asipewe? Apewe asipewe. Amefanya kazi poa. Si basi tuklapie Ademba wherever he is.
Yeah. Wapi ya kofi ya Ademba.
Very nice. Sasa nataka kutoka kwako kidogo to the audience. Nani hapa amechukua kura? Anyone? To you, I want one of you to tell me why umechukua kura kwa nini.
My name is Otieno Vincent, 5.2 medical student, JKUAT.
Pigeni watu wa JKUAT makofi. Hiyo ni shule yangu.
Nimeja vioni, hata nimevalia scrubs, nimetoka tu hospitali. nimepelakiwa na rafiki yangu anaitwa Lene. Ameniambia kuna form ya politics mahali. Maybe the main reason why napenda politics, which is contrary to most medical students, because of the tunaona tukifanyika Kenya. Number one, naenda kusi pale Mama Lucy rotations. Juzi nikiangalia the new board members Calvin's also mwenye amekuwa tu akipiga kelele hapa kwa street, anakuzi hizi kama jinsi hizi mapala, kumbe yanajua at the end of the day anaenda kuongea. So maybe the main reason nimechukua kura na sijachukua kura ya Migori County, nimechukua kura ya Migori County is to ensure nimevotia governor mwenye ata-ensure youth kama sisi tukimaliza shule tutapata kitu ya maana, kwa sababu ukiangalia most of the students wenye wako university sasa hivi tuko na a lot of hopes. Then maybe at the end of the day ukimaliza shule, mimi nimekaa JKUAT since 2021 bado mimi student. Wengine wenye nikijoin nao walikuwa wanafanya 4 year course washaenda huko, watu tuko kujuja hawana kitu cha kufanya, bado watakwambia bro nitumia wakati kule sawa na acha graduate akaona degree. So maybe kama hizo nikiona zinaniuma, that's why maybe I'm so much into politics, that's why mimi nachukua kura. I just want to ensure watu wenye watakuwa kwa these positions next year, because I voted in 2022, sikuwa so much strong because of Raila. Next year, Raila yuko. Lazima tukuwe people with sound mind to vote when you try to ensure what are the people who want as youth and as Kenyans. That's the reason to make sure.
Hey, I love it. Clap for him, man. Amazing. That's amazing to hear. Anyone else mwenye amechukua kura? I'm coming to you. Wacha tu mmoja tu atuambie kwa nini pia amechukua, then we combine.
That's okay.
Okay, say your name again? Situmie tu majina mbili yake if possible.
Shinda Mbara, aka Kaseme.
Okay.
The reason why I have my vote, Steve Biko back then said, the biggest weapon of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. Today I am tired of going to this is an injury that is a state to go on 2024. I don't want to go again to demonstration. Now my vote will make noise for me once and forever. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Clap for him also. We'll come back. Wacha Sharleen, kwanza hata nipoa mention mambo ya Gaucho. Hebu tuambie, you also nominated. As young people wameenda shule na wanaona the way nominations are being given out, what does it make you feel, and what best then do they do so that they plug in, but for a change, not to be nominated just because najua Sharleen?
Yes, that's okay, and thank you so much. Tulisema tumekuja dialogue na nafurahia sana. So first is to appreciate these two gentlemen here that have really made my mind wake up and have this conversation. The issue of young people driving this TukoKadi initiative is a beautiful one, and as young people we should just tell each other the truth. We should look at the sustainability. That is when he said about pre and post election, it's very important, by the way, because it is one thing to start something, it is another to sustain something. So my clarion call to the young people is, even if you've registered to be a voter, actively educate your fellow young people on the reason why voting is important. Do not just hold your voter's card and just stay at home wewe ukingoja August ya 2027. It is very important that if you have your card, you tell your neighbor why it is important for young people to pick their card. Another thing, you've spoken and said, hata kura yako umeileta Nairobi, umeitoa Migori. I also want to tell you, my young brother, it is possible for you to be voted in, by the way. It is possible for you to be voted in, because the changes we are looking for in this country cannot only be found without the system. They have to be found within the system. So we need many young people like you in the National Assembly, in Senate, and in county assemblies. Let not that you are the only person that want to vote other people in. You also have a right that is enshrined in the Constitution to declare your candidature in whatever seat it is you are looking for. You do not have to push another person's agenda. you can push your agenda and rally young people behind you to elect you, because first and foremost, I have seen you are eloquent. Secondly, you are educated. At least you can be able to relate with the elite minds and even with those that are not elite, and be able to represent them not only in the county assemblies, but also in the national assemblies, where we require good representation, we require good legislation and good oversight. So stop throwing the ball back at supporting people. You as well can be able to wake up and rally young people behind you, because I can see you have an idea. I can see you have the push, you have the aggression, and you have the vision. I can see it clearly in the way you talk, that you want to push a certain agenda. Don't wait to push another person's agenda. The young people themselves are equally capable of leading this nation. I like the opening remark by Willie here that said, young people, we've been told over and over that we are the leaders of tomorrow. It is okay, we are the leaders of tomorrow as we are the leaders of today. Because tomorrow cannot exist without today. So to the young people who want to push an agenda, I want to tell you this. We need to change the system from within, not from without. We can try and push. We tried on 24th of June 2024. But we can successfely and faster achieve this by being inside the system, by being elected as members of parliament, by being elected to be the senators, members of county assemblies, governors, and so on and so forth. So as we push other people's agenda, let us also come back to our senses and remember, we are the change that we have been looking for. You do not wish for change. You go and start being the change yourself. So to every young person listening to me, right here, that we are here, and even online, I want to tell you, you can push your agenda. And nowadays, our parents back at home, they already saw whatever it is you did on 2024. They are waiting for you, kwa mashinani. You know, things are easier said, Sarah and Willie, things are easier said than done. And I will not lie to you, because we are here to have a conversation. It is one thing to wish for change. It is another thing to bring change. And I have told you, even as we push for change from without the system, we can achieve much more when we are in the system. When we have more members of parliament that are youth, when we have more members of the Senate that are youth, we are able to push our agendas. On the issue of Gaucho being nominated, I don't know how to approach that, because unajua sasa watu walisema wanataka mama mboga, vijana wa bodaboda na nani wawekwe kwa negotiation tables and committees. And then sasa wanaweka wanasema tusiwaweke. Sasa tuko tu hapo hatuelewi. Lakini no, I have not finished my statement.
Okay.
This is my time. You should have given me an opportunity to finish. I don't know how we handle that, because we have so many people that have gone to school, finished school, and learned and have missed opportunities. First and foremost is to tell Governor Sakaja, we have so many unemployed elites in Nairobi County that we should have given those positions to. It is not a matter of going out there unaandamana sababu ya kunegotiatea position yako. It is not possible. We have so many elite people in Nairobi County, and not only in Nairobi County, all over the country, that deserves the position, not because of anything else, but first of all because they are merited and they have skills. They have gone to school for 5 years and they have gotten their certification. So it is very rude and very disrespectful to kuwaruka na unaenda unachukua watu wengine. So kama Governor Sakaja ataona hii podcast na ataona hii show, tumwambie kuna vijana wengi sana Nairobi County wameenda shule lakini hawajapata makazi. Tunaomba na hatuombi kidogo tu, tunasema hao wenye wako na masomo wanaweza wapewe kazi, because first and foremost they are merited and they have the education that is needed to drive such things as Mama Lucy Hospital. Mama Lucy Hospital really caters for so many people in Nairobi County, and I understand it is always full to capacity, you know, and there are so many problems affecting Mama Lucy Hospital. So we need brains. We need people that can critically think about the solutions we can bring into Mama Lucy Hospital. I'm not saying Gaucho is not a critical thinker. No, he has.
No, we know he's not.
But I'm saying because I want to protect his interests, because he's not on the show Kujitetea, but we have many more young people that have gone to school, that have proved themselves beyond any reasonable doubt that they can deliver on such boards. And so for Governor Sakaja, it is a challenge to the young people that have gone to school but do not have opportunities and jobs.
Okay, asante sana. The two Willies.
Yes.
Yeah. What is better than one Willie?
Yeah, well, just two Willies.
Two Willies.
So Willis one. Well, unaona Gaucho akona education ya health.
I know, I personally, I don't know his papers. I don't know what papers he has, but I have been.
But we know they're not.
Personally, I've been on the receiving end sometimes. I currently, as I sit here, I actually have a master's for the United States International University on communication, strategic communication and communication for development. But thank you very much. However, sometimes when people see me, all they see is yeah and whatever. However, that's not to say that there's something that says two things can be true at the same time. So if the governor Sakaja can prove to us that aliangalia Gaucho akona papers, akona kama ujamaa amesema hata amekuja na scrubs. He has scrubs right now. If he has the papers in the medical profession, he has a diploma, degree, masters in that profession, or even just because sometimes it can be administration. Mama Lucy needs proper administration, right? If he has papers in that regard, well and good. But if it's just giving somebody, and that's what I like that you said, that some people who go to clamor for these things, they clamor because they want a position. But even if you're going to award somebody, kuna kutumia akili, my friend. Usikue tu unapatia mtu kiti kwa sababu anapiganga kelele kwa bunge la wananchi fulani. No problem with bunge la wananchi, but do they have, because even that person, you're setting them up for failure. Because even if you're trying to help them and you put them in a place where they don't qualify, you are
question is, are they willing, you know, umesema hivyo, there's a video that was circulating of one of the ladies that was appointed.
Yeah.
And whoever was introducing alisema, she's not a doctor, lakini Sakaja alimpea kazi. Umeona hiyo video?
Yeah.
So is that fair?
You see, you know, first of all, and before Willie chimes in, there are certain professions, and I'm not saying, and I know all professions are equal, especially, I mean, we at Baraza wa Bebe, we really tunakuza art and all this, but there are certain professions that you want at the end of the other side. If you go to see a doctor, you don't want them to be guessing. Okay, first of all, nikudunge wapi? Wacha niangalia ChatGPT. Injection for, I'm not a doctor, so forgive me if I get it wrong. Injection for amoxicillin, diab or vai or here. Alafu akaenda kukudunga, akudunge kama ng'ombe. Unajua ile ya vile ng'ombe wanadungwa hivi. You know, if somebody is injecting you like they're injecting a cow, you know, it's not right. So you want certain professions, you want them to be done by actual professionals, right?
I totally agree with that, Willie, and I will have to interject because we are here to educate young people. Maybe we should have told them what are the roles of board members in the hospital.
That is where I want to come.
Okay, go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to.
Because I know but the board members are never directly involved in mambo
the
day-to-day runnings of a hospital. And I will actually, after he speaks, I'll come with a contrary opinion.
Okay.
And I'm going to use myself because I'm always on the ground. Nashidaga ground.
Hata
so
mimi.
Sawa. Wacha Willie amalize.
Even if the board should at least, at the very least, have some sort of background to help.
Yeah, it's very important.
I concur with what you say. Even description act ya certain boards kama hizo za hospitali, si kila mtu anafaa kuwa daktari.
Ndio.
Kazi ya board members si kwenda kutibu watu, ni ku-effect policies and all that.
Very true.
But mtu kama Gaucho, hata kama ndiye ana represent society, because board member iko na kila mtu, iko na wazee wa nyumba 10, mwenye hata hajasoma by the way, hizo za hospitali.
Very true.
But mtu kama Gaucho haiwezi kabisa. Tunaangalia chapter 6. Chapter 6 of our constitution, it talks about leadership and integrity. Ukiangalia both the appointing authority and the appointed authority, haiwezi.
What I want integrity.
What I want integrity. And then there is something.
No, let me ask ask you a question.
Alisema.
Kabla turudi. No, okay.
Nitasahau.
Sawa.
Wacha nibonge. DJ usichanganye mchanganyiko. Amesema ati amekuona tu hivi, akaona wewe ni leader. Uongo. Na hiyo ndio makosa yenye tulifanya na the current regime. Tunaangalia mtu ati huyu mtu ni charismatic, huyu mtu anatuambia ati sijui mama mboga bodaboda anaongea vile tunapenda. Hapana. Saizi tunaangalia mtu na wewe track record yako ni gani? Umefanya nini? Umepitia wapi? Umekuwa leader wapi? Pronouncements zako zimekuwa gani? Si ati tunaangalia mtu anakaa vizuri, ako na madimples, ati sijui anaongea vizuri, akue sijui nini. Hiyo haiwezi. Because this is not about affirmative action. Mimi nimeinteract na the youth. Na kukua youth si green flag ya kukua elected kama leader. Some of these youth wenye nimeinteract nayo na wengine ni corrupt kushinda the current regime. So inafaa ikuwe track record. It's not about affirmative action because they are young. We also have aged people who can work vizuri.
Totally agree.
Now what belong to the society.
Let me ask you a question back to before we go to Sharleen.
Yeah.
Umesema, which is actually true, you do not have to be a doctor or whatever to be in a different board. But do we have to maintain the status quo because it has been done, then we must do, or are we as young people ready for change such that we trust that if it's a hospital, a doctor or someone in the medical field is better placed to understand?
Yeah, because a board has many people and a hospital does not serve doctors exclusively. Ina serve kila mtu. So the policies zenye ziko implemented kwa hospital zinafaa zikata across everyone. Zikata across mtu wa bodaboda. Naanza kuongea kama ule mjamaa. Wacha nitafute mtu mwingine. Inafaa ikata across mtu wa kamera, inafaa ikata across mse wa media, inafaa ikata across kila mtu. So at the helm lazima kukuwe na daktari but inafaa ikuwe na a mix of everyone. So that is the leeway walitumia kuweka Gaucho hapo ndani. But it's a very bad precedence because I also have a master's. But that is the last thing mi usema nikienda mahali. Because we live in a country.
Mpigeni amesoma, mpigeni makofi.
Because we live in a country, that is the last thing mimi hata nikijintroduce, it's the last thing I ever say. Because we live in a country where meritocracy is not applauded. Waangalia ati wewe umesoma, wewe umefanya nini? Hapana, ni connection. Na kama wewe ni fanatic wa huyu mse mwingine more. So mimi Gaucho hafai kukua hapo. Yes, inafai kuwe balanced. We need to have basic human decency and have decent people on.
But I think as Sharleen speaks, and yes, I think we need to change that, even as she speaks, because it shouldn't be the last. You should not hide it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be the last thing. It should be actually meritocracy.
Ndio kwa maana tunaingia kadi
hapa kuna masters. Unaona hivi.
Hata mimi mwenyewe I have a master's degree hapa.
Hebu pigeni panelist ni wasomi.
Master's degree in business information technology. Sasa hapa TukoKadi na pia tuko na certificate.
Wapigie makofi juu ya hiyo.
Na tunajua nani ana Nairobi.
Yeah, and then tafadhali just allow me to just dig into what they said. I will not belabor so much on the issue of vote because in Kenya we have different demographics. The problems of Nairobi are not the problems that happen in Murang'a. They are not the same problems that happen in Mombasa. When Mombasa is dealing with issues of drug abuse, maybe Nairobi is dealing with the issues of unemployment. Maybe a place like Eldoret is dealing with issues of agriculture. And this is what makes Kenya beautiful, that we are all enabled differently, but we are the same kind of people, and that we should live in unity. So the reason I want to belabor on this issue of board, in Mashinani, where I come from Murang'a, and our main cash crop is tea leaves and coffee. So in these coffee boards and tea boards, we always have a normal farmer who interacts daily with tea leaves or coffee sitting in the boards. You will ask me why. Because this person wakes up, sleeps, and does everything around coffee. So if tea or coffee has a problem, by the time this person is reporting to the board on Monday, atasema na kuna ugonjwa imetokea ina affect majani. So that is the reason of us having common mwananchi. And let me repeat again, it is very important to involve the people at the bottom of the pyramid when we are coming up with policies and legislations. So it is not correct for us to rule out everybody. Everybody have their own opinions. And I always say this, young people, if we are in the same room and all of us are thinking the same, one of us is not thinking. It is important for us to have divergent opinions. It is very beautiful for us to differ. We agree to disagree, or we disagree to agree. Everybody's opinion is important. Whatever Willie is talking about here is important. Whatever I'm talking about here, it is very important. There is nothing bad about having and holding an opinion. Everybody's opinion is important, and that is what makes us as a country move. So, if tomorrow you are given a position to be a board member of anything, well and good, that's okay. Just execute whatever it is you have been given to be a board member of anything. You talked about issues of nominations. Let me not forget about it. Yes, I'm a nominated member of the county assembly. But anybody who knows me knows that it did not start here. It has been a journey. I was in Mount Kenya University back in 2017, and I was a student leader at Mount Kenya University in 2018. And 2019, na nikatoka 2019 December. I want to say the importance of young people having the urge and the passion to lead. It has to start from somewhere. It has to be a seed that God has given and put into you to want to serve people. Wacha niwaambie majenzi. Mimi niko pale bunge ya Murang'a. Everybody thinks that getting elected is a beautiful and simple thing. Until now you get into bunge and start the politics of bunge. Allow me to say this, Sarah and Willis. Nyinyi wote wa Willie. Getting elected is easy. Maintaining that is hard. And I said when I came into this talk, I'm going to use my personal experience. You may want to change a system for so long until you find you are outnumbered. I always use this as an example. In the National Assembly, we had the likes of Jichopevu. Nani anajua Jichopevu Moha hapa? You remember the way he was active. Allow me to talk to the young people. Thank you. You remember the way he was such an activist out of the parliament. Do you guys remember? And the people of Nyali, I think he's a member of parliament for Nyali, elected him out of that activism. And he thought, yes. And when he got to parliament, he thought he would outdo the whole system. Where is Mohaji Chopevu right now? Have he represented you well? Do you now understand the reason why we need more numbers than one person? I like the leadership styles of Akinandende Nyoro, but they can stand up and defend the youth and lack numbers. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo. So that is why I'm saying, you know, he said that I tried to flatter that young man. Bro, sija kuflatter, it is possible. Nothing is not possible in this country. You can wake up and represent your people if you so wish to do. So it is very important for us to have numbers. Skizeni, mahali chakula ya vijana wote hii nchi inapikiwa ni bunge kuu na Senate. Mahali tukitaka policy ama bill ina affect vijana inapikiwa Senate. Na hakuna kazi inapikiwa pale National Assembly. Na hakuna kazi inaweza fanyika hii Kenya akiwa wajumbe na maseneta hawajatia sahihi. Ndio maana nilisema kuna umuhimu wa kutengeneza the system from inside and from without the system. So every young person, bro, let me just say this. Every young person that have a dream to lead this country, please do not kill their dream.
Ajasema kona dream.
Do not kill their dream of leadership. We are here to actually inspire young people to bring themselves out. Because, as I said earlier, change has to start with you. You can dream so big, but yet the person you elect doesn't have those same dreams as yourself.
Ona, naweza correct kitu tu. Isiende hivyo, wanaweza sema mimi ndio enemy of the young people. Wanasiasa na waogopa. Wewe sijasema ati nimekill your dream, nimesema for example. Hatuwezi angalia tu good leader ule na tuseme good leader. Ni kama vile tuliangalia Moha Jichopevu mwenye unasema. Sasa Moha alikuwa Jichopevu, akaingia bunge, sasa Muhammad Ali.
But kuna umuhimu wa vijana kujitokeza. Kama there is a county in the lakeside, I can't remember the name, my apologies about that. Some time back, maybe 10 years ago, kulisimama governor na chama ya ODM, governor watatu. And so because of negotiated democracy in the party, kukaonekana kuna jamaa mmoja hageweza kuongoza sababu alikuwa relative wa party leader. Akachunjwa. Wa pili kukaonekana hawezi ongoza sababu hakuwa na credentials. And then there was a third person who nobody knew about and who nobody thought about. You will not believe, but the party leadership had to go for that one. So it is important for you as a young person, ujitokeze sababu hakuna mtu ataweza kukusukuma wewe uende ile kitu nataka.
So tokelezea, jitokeze. Kabla Willis aongee, that's a very, very important point. We are coming to you as the mic goes across. Is there anyone here who wants to be an MCA? 2027 kuna mtu anarun MCA? MP? Oh, very nice. One. MP? Governor? Okay, so kwa hii timu yote we are over 50 people, lakini we just kuna mtu mmoja tu anataka kulead, si ndio? But mnataka a better Kenya? Do we want a better Kenya? Yes. Who will give us that better Kenya if not us? Us. So huyu mtu mmoja kwa watu 100 is a small percentage, and that small percentage is the Moha we are talking about. It's a system that we have to overturn, and that means lazima tutokeze, si ndio? As the mic goes across, Willis alikuwa na contribution.
Yes. Niko na hoja kubwa. Okay, I want to say this. In this election, and that's just to echo what Sarah has said, election in Akam, we are very fixated, and rightly so, because again, when we say the buck stops with, at the end of the day, there are decisions that your MCA makes, your MP makes, your governor makes, your senator makes, and then the president makes, right? So yes, it is very okay to be 1 term, 2 term, mid-term, half term. That's very okay. But we have to start, to Sarah's point, we have, and also you mentioned it, we have to have young people who are capable, able, daring, bold enough to stand for to run for some of the seats. Lazima tukuwe na MCAs to flood hapo hivi. Because let me tell you why it is important to have. And again, when the two things happen, I can talk about, when the initial promulgation of the Constitution happened in 2010, people did not pay attention to what these positions mean, right? But now, you will realize that even if I'm running now, for example, if I am Babu Owino or even Sakaja, who is running for governor, in my mathematics, I will have to make sure I have a handful, even half, of MCAs that I'm supporting, because there's no reason to become a governor and then 2-3 months into your governorship there's an impeachment motion. Yeah, so you have to realize the power of some of these offices, because even if you are a powerful governor, and recently Sarah was looking at some of the statistics, sijui anasema kukuwa senator you need 50 million, kukuwa MCA you need 100 million. So let's say you spend 100 million to become a governor, and in 3 months you don't have the MCAs wakutoe. Hiyo inaitwa return on investment, but that's not the reason we are supposed to have. So the reason I'm saying we need to have more MCAs as young people, we need to have more members of parliament being young people, and we need to have more senators being young people, more governors being young people, is because then you are Mohaji Chopevus, you are Jaguars, you are Dede Nyoros. When they stand up and say, hey, this is the way we should go, as the chair of the budget committee, they have support inside Pale to, in the committee of because they're normally odd numbers of 11 or 13 or 15, to vote so that you make the change. But if you don't infiltrate this system, then the young people will not stand a chance, because if you're only focused on the president, you want a young president, you want a young deputy, you want a young prime CS, then when that president is elected and wants to change the term limit from 5 years to 7 years and start afresh, butafanya nini? And you don't have the numbers. But if you have enough, even in the US, there are Republicans and Democrats. There are some times when, like Obama, I think in his second term, he was a Democrat, but the Senate was Republican. So hawezi pitisha kitu kiharaka hivyo. Hata hii finance bill, if we had enough young people there to vote against the finance bill, it would have been easier. So I would like to say that, I think I saw even Ademba talk about youth for youth, and Oeba pia has also said it. If you see a young person anataka kusimama, usiangalie huyu jamaa atanipatia pesa ngapi saa hizi. It is what are they going to do once they're in there to change my life. I talked yesterday for the people who are here. I asked you guys, and I respect these people I'm about to mention a lot. Babu Owino, who is my friend, how many bills has he sponsored in parliament? At Embakasi, amefanya kazi kuna barabara, which is very important. Barabara is good for business, it's good for trade, it's good for access. But the bills that actually change the lives of people, how many has he done? 1. Crystal Asige, who was nominated in Senate, has done 7. If Crystal Asige is to stand to become governor today, and Babu Owino is to stand to become governor today, because of what I talked about yesterday, there is pathos, logos, and ethos. Pathos is ile kitu tunapenda. You have moved by emotions. Hey, vijana timid, vijana ria, vijana tialala. Emotion. Oh, hustler. Oh, emotion. Then there's what Willie talked about, track record. That is now logos. Logically, what do you stand for? Ethics, ethos, what do you stand for? So when it comes to now making that decision, we need to shift our thinking. Because if Crystal Asige asimame leo na muone Babu Owino, automatically you'll vote for Babu because he appeals to your emotion. He's fighting for the underdog. But track record wise, Crystal Asige has 7 bills which has proposed to change your life, while Babu has 1. That's not to say he's not a good leader, but we need to change how we look at these things. And that's why it's important to have your card, but also to think just a little bit. Sema hapo sana.
Very nice. On that, Mike, nataka kujua ni wangapi hapa wamehongwa? Okay, nani amekula pesa ya mwanasiasa hapa? Anyone? Si crime, it's not a crime by the way. Very nice. Kwa hiyo mikono yote mmeinua, I want you to tell me, do you feel it is bad or good for you kukula pesa ya mwanasiasa? Anyone? Mpatie Mike. Anza na jina yako and your thoughts.
My name is Willie Oeba, student at TukoKadi in finance, my second degree. So, to me, kukula pesa ya mwanasiasa, naweza sema ni mwanasiasa. Yeah, nilikula pesa ya mwanasiasa, deputy governor Kisumu County Matthews Obili, Dr. Matthews Obili. To me, by that time, I felt good because I was so much in need of money, and the offer that he was giving was offered. So it wasn't a lot, to just 20 G's there.
20 G's is a lot.
for Alicia, I feel that.
Okay, is kidogo.
Yes, it's kidogo.
Okay, lakini ulisikia vizuri.
Nilisikia vizuri.
Haya, can I ask you another question? Ulikula hii pesa na bado ukampigia kura? Yeah, sound man. DJ ameleta mchanganyiko.
I only had my card. Last week Saturday when Willie told me to vote him as the senator. That is when I had my card
last week. Nice.
But
Vijana Timmy.
I like that. Na by the way, wakileta pesa mkule. It is our taxes. Before we come to you, Sharleen, the question now because I want us to respond. If a politician today approaches you and tells you, nipe kura yako ama ID yako, nikupatie 50,000, will you sell it? I can't hear. Yes.
Kichobora nasema nachukua hiyo 50,000. Wengi hapa ni comrades. Na wasi hawana kazi. Hata unajua leo usiku hakuna watu watakula hapa. Wale wamekula sasa hivi hawatakula mpaka kesho. Hiyo 50 G's nikipata, ninafungua business. Hata kama ni ya samaki, unajua itaniletea dough, itanifanya hata niko millionaire. Ndio maana nachukua hiyo.
Okay, that is valid. Anyone else? One more before we come to the panel. Utachukua 50K to sell your votes?
Currently, kwenye tumefika na Kenya, chenye kile sura iko serious kidogo, napenda kusmile. So kwenye Kenya imefika saa hii, I think currently since last year, since 2024, we've been fighting towards the same goal. I think sisi wote we've been fighting towards the same goal since zile maandamano, and I think currently kwenye tumefika, knowing that kura is the only weapon tuko nayo against our watu wenye wako na pesa, wenye wanaweza tukofa 50,000. I don't think tunafaa kuchukua 50,000 kuwapea. The only thing is tunatumia kuwatoa from the power they have, hiyo power wanatunyanyasa nayo. I don't think it's right kuwapea what we can use against them.
Okay. Yeah. Very nice. All your opinions are valid, by the way. Oeba, umekuwa ukiambia vijana wachukue kura.
Yes.
When you hear someone say they are willing to sell their vote for 50,000, yeah, I want you to tell us. Hata kuna mwingine amesema hata watachukua. So when I sell my vote for 50,000, what does it mean for me, because a politician in Kenya serves for 5 years?
Thank you. Kwanza, I will not castigate a youth mwenye amesema, nani amesema ni pale, atachukua 50,000 and yauze kura yake, because one, the young people have been depoliticized and disenfranchised, because systematically the idea has always been to keep the young people poor so that they can buy them cheap, and over a long period of time young people wamekuwa kionyesha kura isaidi, democracy isaidi. And that is why you'll find it very easy. The young people watch it at 50,000. Wengine watasell hata for 500 and 200 bob. And that is why we are doing civic education, and that is why it is a continuous process. So it is heartbreaking kusikia mtu atachukua 50,000 ndiye aende afungue biashara, but I will not castigate them for that, because they have been intentionally, since 1963, the word our youth is used kama strategy ya campaign. And utasikia hiyo jina 2027, utasikia youth. Most times ushaisikia all your life, because hiyo ndio wanatumia, but the young people are poor, the young people are disenfranchised. And what does it mean ukiuza hiyo kura for 50,000? Because Article 1 of the Kenyan Constitution vile amesema, ati power belongs to what? The people. And the people what? The people shall. So the people can exercise that at mandatory. So that means, because initially the draft, that article was not there, it was added. Why was it added? Because the new constitution that was promulgated in 2010 has something very beautiful. Inaitwa separation of powers. And what does it mean? Judiciary, executive, na legislature ziko totally, kila mtu ako na power yake. And commissions like IBC, hiyo hata ndio hiyo ni another estate, by the way. So kama article 173 inasema pesa ikitoka kwa executive inafaa iende kwa judiciary direct. Na nani ndio president wa judiciary? Supreme Court. The head of the Supreme Court, Martha Koome, yeye ndio ana head hiyo structure judiciary. So what these guys are doing, they are state sanctioning the executive arm of the government in a state sanctioned parliament, in a sanction you the young people because wanatumia resources, in a sanction judiciary to maintain control. But the constitution as it is, the presidency is one of the least powerful positions. And that is why even the current president voted against it. And that is why in 2005, where we had the Wako bill and the Kriegler draft, because the constitution, the reason why they voted no is because your constitution, the president bado alikuwa above the law. And MOU ya NAC ya kina Raila na Kibaki ilikuwa inataka 1, constitution yenye iko na separation of powers. 2, constitution yenye power iko to the people, not the ruler. Hapa tuko na leaders. And 3, now the Bill of Rights, that is chapter 4, article 19 of the constitution that we have right now. So wewe ukiuza hiyo kura, umeuza, pigeni ujamaa makofi, huyu daktari, umeuza power yako, because now ukiuza kura, you've sold your power. You've sold Article 1 of the Constitution and Article 3 that says every citizen has the right and obligation to uphold and defend that document. So ukiuza kura bro ni mbaya sana.
Okay, very understandable. Tunakuja kwako, but I want us to understand, utapewa 50k. Unajua how much it takes to get zinaitwaje hizi nini unapewa na kanjo for you to run a business? Do you know how much it would cost in Nairobi, the permits?
Yeah.
Your 50k itaishia hapo, unfortunately. Inaweza ishia hapo. So kwa hii group, how many of us would sell our votes? It is okay, by the way, si makosa ku-educatiana. How many of us would sell? I mean, he was honest. So 1. No, he's not selling. He said he can, depending. Sindio? So the rest of you can't. Okay. As you cannot. Thank you. Clap for them. As Sharleen comes in, I want you to tell us what's the cost of corruption. In Kenya, generally tukiongea corruption, we look at the president, right? And maybe governors. But hiyo kuuza kura, is it also cost of corruption, and what does it mean for me now? Nikiuza kura to someone, then will you ever demand accountability from them? Hata sha isipofanya utawai muuliza swali. Education ikicollapse, nini comrades hawajapewa help, mtawai uliza swali? You see? Over to you, Sharleen.
Asante sana, Sarah. So we've had very beautiful conversations, and before I respond to your question, allow me to take us back to some of the concerns that have been raised by my fellow comrades here. And I will also not castigate any young people that take money from politicians. Of course, we understand the economic crisis and stuff like that. And nilisema mimi nashidaga ground. Na wewe mwenyewe hata unajua hata saa hii ningekuwa ground, lakini sababu ya upendo wa the young people in this conversation, that's the reason I'm here. When we are having issues of campaigns, just like we are about to enter into the campaign period, mara mingi tukienda ground, ukiongelesha watu for like 2 or 3 hours, wanaitishanga kitu inaitwa sitting allowance. Sababu wameketi chini, wakasikiza manifesto yako na wakasikiza agenda yako. Sasa sijui mimi vijana wataniambia hiyo ni mbaya ama ni mzuri. Kuita wazazi tumewaketisha chini, kuita vijana tumewaketisha chini masaa 3, masaa 4, masaa 5, alafu wanapewa kitu inaitwa sitting allowance. Hiyo sijui sasa mtasema aje. Lakini watatuambia. Asante sana. That's the beauty about this dialogue. Additionally, wacha nitetee vijana. The system of politics in this country have been tailor-made to defranchise the young people. The system of politics in this country has been tailor-made to make sure the young people do not get an equal opportunity against the old folk. Here is my analogy. The old folk we are sitting here to talk about, they have the money, they have the influence, but one thing that is lacking from them is energy. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo. On the other side, the young people have energy, they do not have resources, and they do not have influence. Quote unquote, don't misquote me. By influence, I do not talk about social media. I am talking about the real ground, ile ya kupewa kura. Hawa majamaa wako na influence, wako na pesa, ile kitu hawana ni nguvu na hiyo uwezo wa kwenda huko ground kujituma kabisa. Lakini sasa vijana sisi tuko na nguvu, unfortunately hatuna pesa na hatuna influence ya kule ground. Na ni vizuri tu niambie vijana hawa Willie wote wawili na my sister hapa Sarah. Ground ni different. You have heard this over and over. I can tell you from where I sit. It is one thing to wish for something, it is another thing to get things done. Na niliwaambia hii Kenya yetu ni kubwa. Tuko na county 47. Mashida za Nairobi sio mashida za Murang'a. Mashida za Murang'a sio mashida za Taita Taveta. So ground ni different sana. Na ni vizuri pia tuambie vijana ukweli. We are very, very defranchised because the systems that have been in place since 1963 when we got our independence up to date, and even in the 2010 constitution, they have been tailor-made to disfranchise the young people. So the conversation we should be having in this town hall meeting, Sarah and Willis, is how are we going to harness the energy of young people in 2027? You've heard from this Willis saying, saa hizi vijana sasa ndio mko juu, ndio mko bei. Mko kadi, lakini pia mko bei. Right now, there is no politician that do not want to associate with the young people. The question should be, since 2022 when we elected our own leaders, why have they not been talking about the youth agenda? My apologies, the youth agenda. Why is it 1 year to election is when the youth agenda is being spoken about? It begs a critical questions for young people. And that is the reason I've come. We reason because si vizuri na sio vyema kuitikia kuuzwa bei ya jioni. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo. Na ndio maana tulisema kura yetu ni nguvu yetu. This really spoke about track records. It is very important as we head into 2027. Remove emotions out of everything. Use your brain for once. Don't use your heart. It has been spoken about the politics of emotions and whipping people. Hatutaki huyu sababu hii na ile. Ni vyema like young people because we are elite. Tunasema sisi tumeenda shule na tumesoma so we can substantiate things. Look at the track record of every principal that is coming to ask for your vote. Not only the presidency. Listen, and this is where my point of corruption is going to come into. When we got the promulgated constitution in 2010, we got 47 county governments. A governor is a quasi president. Governor ni rais wa county. Na mimi nataka kuambia vijana, ile pesa imepampiwa kwa our counties for the last 14 years. It is so huge, you will not even start to think about it. That, for example, a county like Murang'a, we have an annual budget of 9.6 billion shillings per year. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo. Napenda vijana wakiuliza maswali, lakini wakati mwingine tunauliza wale watu sio wenye tunafaa kwa tunauliza. Most of the functions we have in this country, for example, health that touches everybody, it is a devolved function. Mambo ya vijana, michezo na mambo ya sports, it is a devolved function. Mambo ya maji, it is a devolved function. So apart from looking at just one person, what is happening in our counties? Unfortunately, allow me to say this, Sarah. In most of our counties, we have devolved corruption. And it gets even worse. I do not know, I don't think Kenya was ready for the 2010 constitution because first and foremost, people did not understand, but we were in a hurry to copy what the Western countries are doing back here in Kenya. We had no enough knowledge of what the 2010 constitution enshrined. But because we cannot reverse whatever it is we did in 2010, then we have to learn to circumvigate around the constitution that we passed as a people. And so my clarion call to the young people is, even as we question the national government through the president's office, we also have to go to our county assemblies, our county governments, because even the counties themselves, right from where I come from, we get money. Who oversights the issues of money, the county government? It is the honorable members of the county assembly. You might be thinking Murang'a is doing so well. Unfortunately, there are counties that maybe will never get to the level of Murang'a County just because we have a caring governor, and a governor that is learned, and a governor that is people-centered. My challenge to the other counties that are struggling, in 2027, it is not about the issue of money. A county do not deserve a politician. Listen, a county requires a manager. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo. Counties zetu hazihitaji wanasiasa. Zinahitaji managers people who know how to manage money. The reason you do not hear so much cries from Murang'a County, it does not mean we are 100%, my comrades. We are not 100%, but we are trying to majaribu, lakini we are not at 100% because you cannot, even the absorption of our budget, you cannot absorb budget. I don't know how to explain it, but when we have the 9.6 billion shilling, we cannot absorb the entire 9.6 billion shilling in a year because of things like fiscal strategy paper, the CIDP, the ADPs that maybe young people should be learning about. And I really thank God that I got an opportunity to come and learn about these things. So we might not be able to absorb. We might not have been able to deliver on everything we talked about to people, but we have tried our level best. And we have gotten the best managers of our funds in our county government. So on matters corruption, as we oversight and question the national government, it is also our prerogative to question our county government. And nikimalizia, the gentleman right there said, tuna supporting my youth, alafu wakienda hawatupei tenders. It's not the first time I'm hearing about that, my brother. I have heard it over and over again. And have said that the politics of this country have been tailor-made to disfranchise young people. I want you to understand one thing. Politics is deep. And politics is not what you see on the layer. It is not what you see on the surface. As you see beauty and everything, the things that happen beneath here are worse than whatever it is. You see beauty and glamour. Umeitwa governor huko sawa, umeitwa president. But what happens at the bottom is even worse. Let me explain my point. You might elect somebody and you might support somebody, wewe niwe unashidanga na microphone kwa rally zake, wewe ndo MC kwa zile maroli kubwa na tracks za campaign. I was one of them. First and foremost, please do not be demoralized. I held this microphone that I'm holding today and I walked all over the country looking for votes. Please don't feel demoralized because that is where young people really have to start from. But you also have to understand you cannot separate the issue of money and politics. There are people who fund aspirants. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo. So when people are going to negotiate, wewe watasema walikupe kazi ya MC na alikulipa 500 jioni. So wewe ushalipwa yako. Sasa huyu mwenye analeta pesa in millions of money, na mimi nishapata kiti ya gavana, ama mimi nishapata kiti ya seneta ama mbunge, nitaanza kufikiria vile nitalipa wale watu walinipea pesa ya campaign. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo bro. Politics is deep. And that is why every time I get an opportunity to speak to young people, I do not lie to them. We are going to hate each other for a moment, but one day, even if I do not convince all of you, I will at least come out with one person or two people that I have convinced. How you sell yourself in politics matters a lot. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo. Whatever skill sets you have and whatever solutions you're bringing to party leaders is very important. And that is why it brings the issue of parties. Are parties important to young people or not? I do not know about your opinion. But for me, as I said earlier, I know a party is one of the fastest cars or vehicles that can take you to where you want. Because as an independent candidate, na wewe ni kijana umetoka shule huna pesa, hauwezani na siasa. Sababu hauwezi, you cannot separate the issue of money and politics. Willis, wote wa Willie, na Sara, ni vizuri tuambie vijana ukweli. You cannot separate the issue of money and politics.
Kidogo tu Sharleen.
Yes.
How many of us are members of any political party? Anyone? Any?
Which part? Adani ni
nyinyi mlikosa jina yote mkaita chama yenu Adani.
No, inaitwa iko na initial.
Niliona hata wangechange letter moja ikuwe Adana. Hiyo imeshaanguka, poleni.
Adani.
Maybe they can tell us the meaning of Adani so I can.
Inaitwa atoma.
Wait. The question kidogo tu as you explain Mike inakam, nataka also you tell us why you think people should join political parties, then Willis will come in because he wants to run also. So hata atatuambia kama ni member wa party ama anapayuka tu.
Okay, so tuko na chama sisi kama watu wa JCOT, it's not already registered, the process of registration actually. Yesterday tulikuwa kwa our meeting, tuliambiwa lazima tukuwe na signatures from at least 24 counties.
Oh yes, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so we are in the process. We have our Facebook, we have our WhatsApp channel, over 1,000 people are following the training. So Instagram, everywhere. So Adani is just an abbreviation. Adani is Alliance for Democracy and National Integration.
Hey, wapigiwe makofi. Thank you so much. Kuna mtu anataka mic hapa utampitishia, but akikuja kuongea, listen, because I know a lot of people did not know what happens before you register or register a party, si ndio? Umesikia? Unajua huwezi amka tu leo then I form a party. It doesn't work like that. That's why what Sharleen is saying, you need to understand the system, because now I'm sure when you were told that you are shocked. In terms of, you did not expect the number of counties and, you know, and also for it to be a national, you have to have offices in, how many?
Yeah, the same.
Several.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is work. Lakini next, please introduce yourself and tell us.
Viva Communist Viva.
Viva.
Or Communist Power.
Power.
One, I have 2 pointers. One is that on political parties, I think the political parties are twofold. That one, we need to agree on, even when we're saying about the Gen Z uprising, we need to agree on the systemic nature of also organizing these political parties, because it needs an organization basis. One is that, like, Adani. Yeah. There's the Adani one, there is the Spooner faction, there is all of these. But where there are 2 pointers that a party needs to be both a mass organization and a vanguard party. What does a vanguard party mean? I am Ran Madenge. I come from, I was the former SD of the Young Communist League. So we understand this basis that where a party can be a vanguard party means leadership. It means leadership. But it can't be a leadership with 9 people. It needs to be a leadership with a mass organization in it. So if we don't have a mass organization, then what do we say even with Adani? So there are these points of that.
Wako na comrades wa JQuats.
Yeah, so yeah, we comrades wa JQuats. So yeah, there are these points of that we need to discuss. Anyhow, yeah, an organization especially that now we are saying about the Gen Z, I think we need to be serious about this one. We really need to be serious about this one. In that aspect, that we can not only build a mass organization, tunaweza tokea, hata tuseme June 25, si tunaweza tokea sisi wote, kwani tunaogopa. Then si tunaweza tokea sisi wote, but without that organization that is providing leadership, which was also the greatest, which was also the greatest misdoing of the Gen Z uprising in both 2024-2025, because we lacked that, we had a mass organization, but we lacked the vanguard. If we had the vanguard, then what happened in these countries?
Nepal.
So if we had that vanguard, then that makes sense. So we cannot spend a lot of time here discussing about all these factions within the organizations, within all these things. Secondly, which will be my last point, I think you are incorrect, probably, saying that we were not ready for this constitution. One, the constitutional process, the constitutional making process from 1992, 1992, the 1992 constitution, we came with the Bomas draft, after the Waka draft, then we had the Bomas draft, after the Bomas, we had critical issues, especially with the land, especially with the young people. So this constitution, especially with the Bill of Rights, so it is a struggle. The constitution is a product of struggle. So we cannot dismiss it that the young people who are not willing to have a new constitution. So the new constitution, especially, we understand history. The yes and no campaign, there were critical issues, especially within the ODM camp, the opposition camp, the orange camp, especially with the land question, the electoral process question, and which was not highlighted within within the Bomas Girls. So I think it is a product of struggle which we should protect, especially within the Bill of Rights.
Yes.
Jana kulikuwa na watu waliarestiwa, ndio. We can stand and say that well, this was not within the rule of law. You cannot put them under these, under these mashtaka. Yeah, because they have a right to this and this and this, which was not there before. So the Constitution is something actually, an instrument, it's a tool that we can actually use even within the young people to also project our meetings going forward. So, yeah.
DJ Kel, apewe cocktail kwa bili yako.
Apewe!
Idris kwa bili yako.
Maybe just a response to him. I wanted to say maybe thank you for the correction about that. But what I meant by not being ready is because people took advantage of our parents in mashinani to come up pamoja. And then instead of giving them the real facts, I honestly support the issue of the Bill of Rights, the right to picket, the right to everyone holding their opinion, and the right that you can go anywhere in this country. But among them, when they were trying to push their own agendas, they did not do enough civic education to our parents back then. Saa hiyo sisi millennials hatukuwa tunaelewa kitu, na majenzis of course hawako wamezaliwa, so of course hatukuwa tunaelewa kitu. So that is what I meant by not being ready. But the fact that the Bill of Rights is enshrined in that constitution is something that I uphold. And you said it is something that had been fought for a long time. I totally support, because they say that the tree of liberty is watered by blood. And not only by blood, but the blood of martyrs. We appreciate the people that went ahead of us and really fought for us to have this new constitution. What I'm talking about is let the people be educated. Like when we go to mashinani, you will really understand that the people do not know the various roles of governors, members of parliament, senators, and MCAs. You will hear a person come to ask, sasa hii barabara hii highway, Sharleen, bona hujaskuma tujengewe, and they do not know that is not the work of a member of the county assembly, but the work of a member of parliament. Maybe what we should do going forward, even as we continue educating the Gen Zs, we should also occupy our media stations and educate our parents on the separation of powers between the presidency, the governors, the members of parliament, and so on and so forth. Nikimalizia mambo ya parties. Sijui ama vijana mnapenda chama, except the Adani party that I have had. Maybe I'm going to learn more about it. Hakuna mtu mwingine ameingia chama. It is a good thing for me, not for everybody. That is, I said it's my opinion, because I have tasted what it means to go as an independent candidate, and I have also tasted what it means to go as a person that is being pushed by a party. The only difference is, comrades, identify with a party that augurs well with your values, virtues, and morals. Whatever it is you believe in, integrity, accountability, whatever, just look for a party that augurs well with your morals. I can tell you for a fact, na ninapenda sana the way this dialogue has gone, there is no shouting, there is just exchange of ideas. It is not easy for any young person to vie in this country without a party, because we are disfranchised, because we don't have resources. You cannot just come fresh from college or in university, just like you can do in America, and get elected. Additionally, nikimalizia cha ukweli sasa, mwanasiasa anamalizanga mara tano ya mwisho sasa. This gentleman acknowledged that there was a little failing in the Gen Z Maandamano of 2024 and 2025, a little bit of acknowledgement. Let me say it's true somehow, because power abhors vacuum. Ambia neighbor wako, power abhors vacuum. Power cannot function in a vacuum, young ladies and gentlemen. Power has never operated in a vacuum. That is why the strongest countries in this world, the first world countries, name them, US, they have Democrats and they have Republicans. When you go to the UK, they have Conservatives and they have the Labour Party. Young people, as a young person, power can never operate with a vacuum. There is importance that as we agitate as young people, ni vizuri tuwe na mpango. And there is nothing as bad as, listen, there is nothing as bad as an organized minority against a disorganized majority. the organized minority can win over a disorganized majority. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo. Nataka muelewe. Ni vizuri vijana pia tukue na system. Tusiseme tu, tuamke tu, na tuko hapa turekebishane. Mimi nimesha appreciate, ushani correct, lakini pia mimi nikisema kitu yenye inafaa kucorrect, you just take it positively. We cannot go on as young people being ignorant of certain facts. Power has never functioned in a vacuum. That is the reason when you go outside, the only thing I can support is we are tribeless. That one I can support, because even me when I'm coming from Muranga, I am one of the people that mimi nimeacha Muranga yangu huko Ushago. Me, I support everybody around this country, even if you can go on my social media. Me sina yo ujinga ya ukabila ya Muranga, sijui Kikuyu tunataka hii please, that is nonsensical. Me, I appreciate everybody in this country. The only point I will never support the young people is when they say they are partyless. Because power abhors vacuum. You have to have something. You have to have something that brings the young people together. And that is why I'm saying, going forward, like when he says he has the party that I'm going to learn about after this, I would want to hear your ideas about it. These are the things that politicians use to negotiate. By the mtu asikudanganye.
Thank you, Sharleen. Hey, umemaliza kweli kweli. Willis, you want to run for a political seat? That I have heard from him. Alikwambia na run? Yes. Are you a member of a political party?
Well, now.
No, it's either yes or no. No, don't explain.
Not yet. No. And I'll tell you why. Sharleen has mentioned that whenever you're looking for a party.
So, fine. You're not a member of a party as yet. You will be.
Yes.
So, how on earth are these people supposed to trust you that 1 year to an election, you have not found a party that you believe in their values, in whatever, like you have nothing. So how are you leading the young people in not being partyless and leaderless?
All right. First of all, 2 points. Number one, it is not yet 1 year to elections. 400 and something days. 1 year election is August.
It's August. And
August
okay, 1 year, 2 months.
Number one. Number two, there is a provision in this constitution to stand as an independent. It is allowed.
Are you going independent?
Hold up.
Oh,
now,
sorry.
it is also important, and this is what we keep asking young people to do, is the journey to find out a party that has your ethics, has integrity, has what you stand for, has values. In this present system that we are in now, is one that requires keen attention, and it is important for people to appreciate that the fact that I am taking time also to look for that particular party, it means that they should also take time after TukoKadi to look for that party, person, individual that stands for the things that they believe in. It's not a one-day fix. It's something that you need to analyze critically, both historically and also moving forward, because there are so many dynamics that have changed in this country, including, most importantly, the unfortunate death of Raila Amolo Odinga. Joey! Yes, thank you very much. So, that is a fact that we cannot deny. It has changed the political matrix. Number two, we have the Willie Oebas, the Adembas, the Willis Raburus, who have also, IBC has a budget of about 20 million plus, going to billions. Ademba and Willie and Tatiana and the crew have been able to mobilize people. In fact, IBC wamechukua tu landslide. They've been able to mobilize people to register 1.4, 1.5 million voters, basically through community.
On zero budget.
No,
from them.
Zero budget from the exchequer. So that is why I would say that even as, and I want to say for the avoidance of doubt, I will be in the ballot in Kisumu in 2027.
Okay.
For the avoidance of doubt.
Very nice. Now we have three people on the ballot. We have Sharleen, yes, Willis, and someone else.
As somebody there.
Yes.
As to the party must.
Shall.
The party shall. Mandatory. Guide us in a way that represents transition, change, recent power dynamics, and understanding. By the end, I love it when Willie says this because it is the truth. That just because somebody is old doesn't mean they can't lead. Just because somebody is young doesn't mean they can't lead. it is now the specs yenye tunavaa hivi kama vile yeye amevaa, kuangalia kuona ule jamaa anaofa nini, anafanya nini, atatufanyia nini, amekuwa akifanya nini, mienendo yake iko vipi, is when we jump on that ship. So right now it is wisdom. Wisdom is Abraham in the Bible saying Sarah is my sister and not my wife, ndo asiuliwe. Is wisdom, is not a lie, is wisdom. So with the wisdom Solomonic, Abrahamic that I have, I'm also analyzing and see. Na nikiona kwamba hawatoshi mboga wote, nitajipeleka kwa watu. However, I want to say this about Adani. Now, Adani is brilliant in terms of what you are agitating for. The initials mean something. However, from now nikiingia kwa my education-wise, my PR and media, it would be prudent to try to change the name because the name already has a negative connotation. Yeah, the Adani that exists is one who anaingia kwa mainchi, he's involved in corruption cases, he's been charged in the UK, he almost took over our airport here, probably coming back via proxy. So you don't want to be associated with that. Hata kama basi mu change ikuwa tana double A bas, ama mweke Ardarni, mweke R, at least do ikuwe kitu kama hiyo. But and then again, it is important to know that when it comes to a party, as you're picking a party and registering a party, it's not a work. There are many people who will come because for the longest time, even ODM, which is a prevalent party known as Okwe. Yes, it has bungled and lost trust because of how they handle nominations. So ikifika April, because the nominations are going to be in April 2027, people what have briefcase parties. Wako na party lakini ni certificates tu. Hawana 1,000 people in half the constituencies. Hawana watu wako na integrity, hawana signatures. So hawawezi pata party. So
hawana power.
Hawana party. So hawana power. Tunataka nini? Lakini in the right way.
Thank you.
So I would say this, for the young people who are here and who will watch this, take your time. Now that TukoKadi, you have you said 400 and?
Sorry?
400 and kitu kama 90.
Yes, yes.
490 days plus. Let's say over 450 days to think about which party
You want to join.
you want to join. And if the party was the party is an answer, 100%. It's not the ultimate answer. Because even in our Kisumu there was a time the ODM walibango elections, kukawa na Shakil Shabir, akasimama mara tatu, 15 years now, amesimama independent against an ODM candidate in Kisumu, na ameshinda. Olago Alwatch, same. David Ochieng, same. Stood as independent. So it doesn't mean, hata huyu mwenye alikuwa governor mkamtoa juzi ule wa Meru, alikuwa independent. Na alisimama against the powerful Kiraitus of the time.
Oh yes.
So it doesn't, the key is as an individual, what do I have to offer? Willie has mentioned it hapa, track record. Na hiyo time ikifika nitawaambia, mimi niko nayo, nimesaidia watu hapa wengi sana. Haya. So, ninasema hivi, think about it, focus, but always remember for the young people, a powerful quote by a philosopher, anthropologist actually called Margaret Mead. She used to say, never doubt that a small group of committed young people can make change. Why? Because it is the only thing that has ever done so.
Ah, fantastic. An organized
minority.
Yes,
yeah,
it's
can
more powerful
do.
than an organized majority.
Sasa, Oeba, uko tu kwa TukoKadi, you're really pushing for this campaign. Yeah. And before I ask you the question, inaitwa? Party.
Yeah.
Adani. The other reality, Ardani. The reality you need to put in mind is, chances are you will not be able to register that party before elections. Systematic. That's how the system is set. So you also need to have in mind, if you don't make it with Adani, so what next? You know. So have that in mind. Very enough. So ngoja. Pin it.
Be a party.
Pin. I am coming to pin. Yeah, thank you for pinning. Yeah. He asked about organizing. You're dealing with people, young people every day. Are they organizing or are we still agonizing that we have bad leadership?
Vijana ria, Asanti. I hope una confirm kama yako reflect. Mtu wa Man City. I hope una confirm kwa nini ya ABC. Asanti, Mungu anasaidia. So now, kabla niende hapo, nimeona niko na politicians kwa panel. Also, two truths, kama kuna such a word. Facts mbili zinaweza coexist. Yes, one, power abhors vacuum. And also, power resides where people think it does.
Yes.
So now, it is not a must for you to get into political parties, because also political parties have been used as instruments to disenfranchise the youth. Party leader wa ODM ako na miaka ngapi?
82.
Exactly. So now,
82.
If the youth, because tunataka power.
For now.
Because 2027,
if the young people keep on getting into such political parties, they'll be just validating the interest of the old guards. And the same constitution has provincials such as going independent. And also, it is not a must we have politicians as leaders, because over time, politicians have proved to us that they look at themselves as saviors and not leaders. The whole concept of a democracy is that we have people that we can co-design with. But the problem with the Kenya that we have, these politicians, look, these two politicians look at themselves as saviors and not leaders. So we need leaders. We don't need saviors. Vijana power. Asante. Swali yako ilikuwa gani? Organizing. I am pro-organizing. The reason why the Gen Z demonstrations as it was sustained over a long period of time, I was also on the front line. And I would like to correct, the leaderless, tribeless, it was a strategic move so that the regime doesn't point at one person, now afuate that one person, but there were actual leaders when walikuwa napeana direction, only that it was not coming from one person. Sawa sawa. But the reason why it was not sustained over a long period of time is what that gentleman Ali mentioned from the Communist Party, is that after such a spontaneous revolt or organization, we need to do the front loading. And what is front loading? Create steps, a calendar. What do we need to do? What is the organizational structure? So that power comes from one direction. Because tulisema power resides from where people think it does. So we have to structure it. And that is why the Gen Z revolution was not sustained past 3 weeks. Because now there were so many factions. Kuna wengine walisema, hey, State House is a protected area. Wengine, maandamano ikaisha. So we need to organize and stop agonizing. But political parties are just a carriage ya kukupeleka kama ni bunge, ya kukupeleka wapi, but it doesn't mean power iko hapo. Hizo political party ndio zimekandamiza vijana huku. Mtu kama Bahati alikuwa anataka kusimama but wakafanya zoning. Ilibidi arudi kufanya
lakini
haya. Ngoja kidogo tu.
Bahati si example poa.
So hizo parties ndio ziko structured to disenfranchise the young people. So I am of the opinion, somebody said this, sijui ilikuwa Malcolm X ama ni nani, you cannot beat a system, but you can create an alternative system to beat your system. Mbona tuingie kwa hii system yenye imetu disenfranchise? Jalas alikuwa comedian mfiti sana, akaingia huko amekuwa mmoja wao. Jagu aliimba kigeugeu, yeye ndio kigeugeu number 1. Tumesema Muhammad Ali. Jichopevu alikuwa anatoa machozi, siku hizi Muhammad Ali ako huko ndani. So if we don't create an alternative system, we will just be replicating, because it's very hard to change the system as it is. Hata mkichagua watu wawili, it's very hard. And then you need to understand that the presidency, as we said, is one of the most inconsequential in the current constitution. Ndio kwa maana wana have kubai members of parliament. So hii resolve inaanzia kwa MCA. Kama mwezi hold MC wenyu accountable mwenye anashinda ground daily, mtaenda aje kuhold president? So chagua MCA mwenye anaweza, chagua MP mwenye anaweza, hata kabla tufike kwa president. Kama tuko na legislative arm ya government iko na watu wenye wako sawa hapa, then it really goes a long way. And then I'd like to commend what that gentleman alisema. Yeye anaishi Nairobi, lakini shags ni kwingine. So alichukua kura yake akaitoa Nairobi, akaitoa shags akairudisha hapa. Msivote na msichukue kura place yenye policy implementation haiku affect. So huyu anaishi Nairobi 80% of his time, lakini juu anatoka Alego Usonga kama Willis.
No, please. I am Nyando.
Nyando. Inabidi.
Hallelujah.
Unaona mwanasiasa hawezi kupoteza kura. Hawezi kupoteza kura. But because wewe unatoka huko tunasema tisaya election nitaenda ni vote huko. Alafu unakuja Nairobi kutupigia kelele juu kuna floods. Kuna wengine wanakaa hapa ati wanaogopa ati election nitaleta vita ati naenda kuregister mtaa. Wewe wajinga nyinyi.
Sarah, amemalizia na point mzuri sana.
Nataka hata sisi tumalizie na point mzuri.
Hii
ndio close.
Because I'm in the county assembly and we make budget. We make budget in regards to the voters of that station.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Kwa county yenu MCAs wote wamesoma?
Majority. 90%.
Unajua nili-interview one of the MCAs wa Nairobi, Robert Alai. I believe kila mtu anamjua. Alai alituambia Nairobi County has MCAs wenye hawajasoma, so wanatumia
in Murang'a County. Murang'a County, maybe that's the reason it's working. We have 90% of the members of the county assembly who are elite. Most of them have in masters and degrees, at least those ones they are learned. But venye huyu amesema, as we look forward to 2027, make sure penye unakaanga normally, hapo ndo unapigia kura. Because when we are making the county budgets in our ears, and budget is a process. Even right now we are in the budget making process. Right now we are in something we call the supplementary budget. Even Murang'a is sitting as from tomorrow for us to discuss the supplementary budget, what we need to remove here. Akiwa ni agriculture tunataka kuangalia, tutoe pesa hapa, tupeleke kwa health. Akiwa health iko sawa, tutoe pesa kwa health, tupeleke kwa vijana. So budget is a process. So it's important for young people like ourselves. Kwenye unarushia kura, make sure unakaa huko. Usitoe kura yako Nairobi na wewe unakaa hapa Nairobi upeleke kwenu ushago Murang'a. It's a very important point and I really love it. Additionally, on this one I'm going to differ a little bit with my brother here, Willie, and talk.
Which one?
No, this
Willie.
No, this Willie who is not a politician.
I am do it willingly.
Yeah, and say, well, it is okay. In the constitution we have provision of independent candidates and independence candidation. I do not want to belabor on that point so much, but I also want you to understand, when we go to parliament and the reason people fight to be in parties, there is something we call house leadership. Abia ni bako house leadership. Hii ina concern majority leader, deputy majority leader, chief whip, and the deputy chief whip, and we have the minority leaders and blah, 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 blah. The reason people fight to be in these political parties is because when you go to parliament, lazima MIMP wachaguane wenyewe kwa MIMPs ili wapate kitu inaitwa party leadership. Because the power has to flow from the president all the way to the members of the county assembly. It is okay if you want to vie as an independent candidate. Na sijapinga, my brothers and sisters. It is okay to vie as an independent candidate because the provision is there in the constitution. And the only thing you need is just an ID na dreams zako na kwenda kuomba kura. Lakini pia mimi kama kijana ningetaka kuambia, lakini si kila mtu. If you do not want to be in a party, it's fine. It's okay, you can vie as an independent candidate. But I said the political parties, they're just an avenue and a bus that can take us faster to where we want. Na niseme hivi, mimi sinanga shida na vijana wako different parties mlengo. Sababu mimi najua our main goal is to all meet in parliament. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo. It does not matter whether you use ODM, it does not matter whether you use Adani, it does not even matter whether you use
tip Kalembe Mdile.
Huyu anataka ya Kalembe Mdile. Our main goal is to get to parliament. And young leaders and young people, listen to me and listen to me carefully. and this is my clarion call to you. Do not put your fellow young person down because of the political parties they are coming from. Listen to their ideas. It does not matter that Willie is in ODM, now we say ODM is all bad. If he can get elected to parliament through ODM, naenda tetee vijana.
Yes.
Why not? Tuko pamoja. If Willie can get elected through tip and get to parliament, our goal is to make sure we have more young people in parliament than before. That is it on Mamboza parties. Another thing, I want to stand here and say that I dislike the idea of zoning because it defranchises young people, and zoning is just the same way as negotiated democracy. In this country, we have had moments whereby youth and young people have lost opportunities because of something we call negotiated democracy. I would give very many examples, especially in the ASAL areas, whereby wazee wa kijiji wanaketi pamoja, wanaangalia Sharleen against another mzee, wanasema Sharleen ni mdogo, first and foremost, hata hajaolewa, huyu hawezi kuwa kiongozi. And they go and sit down and decide for the people of that region that huyu mzee ni mzuri, ako na nyumba, ako na bibi wawili, so anajua kutengeneza familia na kukalisha familia, wanampea hiyo ticket. So on the issue of zoning, I want to completely say that I do not support. And I want to communicate to the young people of Luo Nyanza, whereby ODM is predominantly the party that rules in that region. My brothers and sisters, you have the best opportunity right now to become whatever you want. You can either use it positively or negatively. Hata hii yenye anasema independent candidate ni mzuri sana mpaka huko, by the way. Because there is something we call fatigue. You know, once something is birthed, there will come a time when it just fades away and dies. It is true. And change whose time has come must happen. And change whose time has not come must not happen. So to the young women and men in the Luo Nyanza region, I am telling you, it is a defining moment for you. No, it's not going to be easy. Listen to me. It is not going to be easy. And nothing is going to be given out of a silver platter. But I can promise you, you have a solid opportunity to change the politics of that region. To change the politics of that region to become youth-centered. Tumeona MPs wameenda 5 term, 6 term, 7 term. Hata ni kitu nilikuwa natamaningi kitambo. Until nikakaa hivi nikasema, what about now the young people? When do they get an opportunity to lead in those counties? So it's a very good opportunity to the young peoples of Luo Nyanza, and I would want you to take it seriously.
Willis, that was your message?
Yes, yes. Another thing that I'm going to say, Sarah and Willis, we have seen Gen Zs from other countries pushing and agitating for change. We have seen the Gen Zs of Nepal who successfully did overturn their government. But unfortunately, we have seen the Gen Zs of places like South Africa and Uganda who did not successfully able to change the system. And this is where my point is coming. If the Gen Zs of South Africa were organized, today Malema would be the president of South Africa. But unfortunately, Malema was a distant dad. He would fill the entire stadium of South Africa, kila mtu amevaa red, everything would come to a halt and a standstill. An entire South Africa. The youth rallied behind somebody we call Malema. But unfortunately, they did not succeed. We come to Uganda. The youth were able to rally behind this young man called Bobby Wine.
Uganda is a bit different though.
Even South Africa is different. No, they did not. If you find the youth from South Africa, they don't like Malema.
Okay.
Because Malema is a leftist populist. He says what people want to see but cannot do what people want done. So for Malema, it's a little bit different.
That's okay. But this was the point that I was coming into. That the systems, the politics we are having even as a country, they are so deep-rooted in systems. And I said, I will take this example again. Mimi, nikitaka kusimama kiti ya women rep Muranga, I will not be able to do the things some of the leaders in Nairobi do. Let me just use an example. You see the way I'm dressed today? Nilikuwa ninaenda mashinani. Siwezi enda Murang'a na trouser kama hii ya Willie imekatakatwa huku na ka t-shirt ka v-neck kamefika hapa ati ninaenda kuongelesha wamama kuomba kura. Those are some of the truths we have to tell ourselves. Our parents in mashinani are conservative. Mimi hapa Nairobi nikitaka kiti hata naweza kuja nikae na jeshi, tunachapa jaba, tunaongea story na vitu kama guy. Oh, sorry.
No, ni sawa. Ni sawa. Haujafanya makosa.
Let me tell you.
Uko sawa.
You see Murang'a, if I would dare, not even do, think that naweza enda kuomba kura nikiwa nimevaa trouser hivi. First and foremost, my dream would not see the light of day. So it is important to appreciate the places we are coming from with their different demographics and their different conservatory values and morals. In Nairobi mimi naweza enda niende nibagaize pale Pangani, niko tu veve na uliza majamaa.
Hata unajua pango yani.
Mheshimiwa Kichele. Nikienda Murang'a, the demographics are totally different.
Nani amekuharibu hii Nairobi?
Anajua Pangani vizuri sana.
Wacha hizo stories. So, as young leaders, mimi napenda venye hii set iko cause akiwa wewe ni leader unataka kusimama Nairobi, naweza kuambia vitu zingine zinaweza kukufavor. But ukikuja place kama Murang'a, usikuja na mentality ya Nairobi. Akiwa uko wewe kama Willis hapa anataka kwenda kusimama Kisumu. Dala. The demographics there are totally different because our parents there are conservative. Wabebe ataafu kuacha Nairobi. Wabebe hawezi enda kuuliza washosho wabebe mashinani. That is because
wanajua.
No, tulia. That is because they are totally different. They are conservative. By the way, Willis wacha nikwambie.
Unaona umeingia chama, umekuwa na ideology za wazee.
No, nikwambiana ukweli si vizuri kudanganya majenzi. Huyu by the way anaweza pata kiti Nairobi because wabebe and then you become so popular. Mashinani, me I'm telling you from where I'm coming from. Murang'a, I'll not even use Willie again so that you people stop attacking me so much. But not sasa bas unaona sasa kama huyu ras. Tutumie sababu amenipea example. Sasa wewe kwenda kushika hii microphone kuomba kiti ya MCA ama mbunge Murang'a anaweza kosa. Lakini hapa Nairobi hapa
asubuhi na mapema.
Pigeni rais wako mapema. Wengi watakuja kwa televisheni.
Pigeni Sharleen makofi because this is what we need to understand. Si ndio?
Yeah. It is good I tell the young people. Wewe unaweza chaguliwa Nairobi, lakini ukikuja Murang'a, wamama watakuangalia hivi, wakusikize, they scrutinize you, anavaa mpaka shorts. Sasa huyu atakuja kutuibia mabibi, huyu hatuwezi pea kura. Mimi nikiwa nimevaa booty shorts, sijui nimevaa vitu huyu ni wa kutuibia wanaume. Wanawake, it is good to appreciate that our cultures are different and we are coming from a very conservative community. And it is very unfortunate. But it's not unfortunate because they are our parents. There is nothing we can do about it. It is the culture in mashinani. Nairobi is a totally different demographic. And the capital city, our Nairobi, Mombasa, the capital cities we have, they are totally different demographics. But wewe kama Gen Z yako unataka kwenda kusimama MCA ama MP mashinani, ni vizuri nikwambie vitu kama hizi.
Wow, Sharleen, ngoja kabla. Tuko sawa. Bado tunataka kulead. Tuna understand hizi nitty-gritty za politics. Kabisa. Haya. Ya mwisho, before you finish, we have the director of Baraza Media Lab with us, so I will ask him to move closer. Ama kuje. We are finishing, so Sharleen is giving her final points. Ndio pia usalimie youth man, Mr. Morris. Haya, last point, 1 minute.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I want to talk to every young person in the Republic of Kenya and tell them that all is not lost. There is hope. Do not allow old folks who are fading out of politics to sell you the idea of hopelessness. First and foremost, Kenya will never go down because as the youth, we are here to fill that vacuum. We are here because we know leadership is not about tomorrow. It is about tomorrow as it is about today. So to every young person who wants to see change in this country, let no old folk or the fading leadership that is going out sell you the idea and the agenda of hopelessness. In 2027, as we are looking forward to the general election, I want to say it's going to be an intergenerational election. We will see old folks fading out and we will see young people taking positions of leadership. Young people, leadership is not given, it is taken. So make your vote count, make your voice count, and throw yourself to people to test your own legitimacy. Do not let anybody tell you you are not of age to lead. There has never been a age bracket of leadership. You can always become whatever it is you want. And the change we so want in this country can only begin from us. So, venye tunasema TukoKadi, to make sure tumetoka na tukaambia vijana wenzetu wa register kuwa voters wa 2027, na hiyo siku ya 2027 ikifika, let us gauge our leaders, not out of emotions, but from the track record that they have set for us. Thank you so much, and may the Lord bless you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. As Willis does his final point, I want Christine to pass this mic to two people who will share with us their dream of Kenya. What is that Kenya you dream about? Sindio?
All right, this is going to be my
hands are up.
My point as I relinquish my seat, not politically, but now so that Morris can come and sit here. But I will say this. I think what has happened, I love a couple of things that have been said here that I'll just echo, and I like what Sharleen has said, that at this point, it comes to a point where you have to realize that let's get there. Let's get in there. Of course, choosing the particular party you have is very important, the one that's going to take you there. But the key of democracy is not to castigate another person because of the choice they made to get them there. In chemistry, there used to be something called Hess's law in the terms of the equation, that no matter the way the equation goes, the end goal is the same. So if we have agreed as a political outfit this is the end goal, then it shouldn't, well, it should matter, but it shouldn't be a case to castigate somebody. And that's why it's important to have your card. Your voter's card means that if I don't like Willis tip, then there is a Willis who is in another part. I'll vote for that party. But that doesn't mean that I discourage. Hiyo ni chama ya watu waku anyway. That doesn't mean that now I start holding Willie in a bad regard because of tip. A party is important. Remember, there's an individual alikuwa na party pale anaitwa Alfred Mutua. Sijui alishinda maybe viti 2, 3 na akaenda saini.
Na by the way analipwa na ORPP.
Na
by the way analipwa na ORPP because ako already na two MCAs. Yeah, analipwa
so
na
wakati watu wanagawa pesa, anapata pesa yake pale because the office of the registrar of political parties, even the ORPP, the office of the registrar of political parties, there is an amount that is given to people who hold parties. The most popular party, and it's billions. Hata ulisikia juzi munaniona
kama sahi
mimi ndio very good. Hata yesi alisema kuna pesa ODM inaoiwa in billions.
It is true, by the way.
So the parties have money. And that is why you can have a voice to criticize a party, because it is your money. Ni pesa ya taxpayer, na pesa yenye watu walichanga pale, kukua MCA ni X amount, kukua MP ni X amount, senator hivyo. So I'll say this, have space within your democratic space to tolerate each other, to disagree. The way hapa hivi, maybe kuna watu wa 1 term, kuna watu wa 2 term, kuna watu wa half term na mid term. So have space like this to have a fact that we can sit here, be 1 term, 2 term, and then we meet, have a drink, talk, eat, go home. But the way where it matters sasa ni pale kwa kupiga kura. Pale kwa ballot, secret ballot. Ukienda pale upigie mtu kura. Guys, unapiga kura. Okay, unakula pesa alafu unapiga kura. Vile inahitajika. And I would also like to say, I never forget to say, successful people look like you. As a young person, never let anybody ever put you down, that you can't do it, you can't fit in, you're not important. Every dream that you have is very valid. You can be anything you set your mind to. Go out there and do it. The reason why we are all clamoring for this and we are all saying it's important who you put in office is because the decisions they make will affect you. From the prices of products, from the opportunities you get, from the policies that they put in place, from the quality of life you have. Unaweza kuwa unatembea hapa Nairobi na kuna potholes size ya dimples na size zingine kubwa sana jumuliweka mtu wa dimples. Hiyo ndo mambo vile kunaendanga. So whoever you elect, ujue kuna miaka ngapi? Of course you can recall them, but ujue kuna 5 years to deal with the consequences of your decision. Na hata kama wewe ni Mkristo, kuna wakati hata Mungu hakutoi kwa ngori. Hata Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego walikaa tu kwa hiyo moto tu, na Mungu alikuwa nao kwa hiyo moto. So unaweza chagua mtu alafu kwa the next 5 years mnachomeka tu, ako na nyinyi tu kwa hiyo moto tu, ako na nyinyi tu because mliamua kuchagua. So choose wisely. And for those of you who are the good people of Kisumu, ambao wataona hii kitu, tutakutana pale, nitawapanga vizuri, nitawaeleza mambo itakuwa mzuri. Hapa mbele ni kuzuri.
Leta microphone.
Hello. Sema na wale watu wanasema hakuna wabebe Kisumu. Kisumu pia tunasema wabebe. Sema wabebe. Tunawabeba Kisumu sana.
Hello, wabebe. As we come to an end, I want two people who want to tell us. Hey, Morris, karibu sana. Thank you, Willis, for your time. Just tell us, what is your dream of a good Kenya as Morris comes?
Okay, what I want for future Kenya, I want a country where corruption is not normalized, where we get justice is not delayed and is not selective. We want a country where we are not supposed to go to the streets, people to be killed so that our voice can be heard. We want Kenya where youth are not just voters, but they also participate in governance. Tunataka ile nchi yenye mkorongo kwa msika naweza mkimbiza hapo kwa karibu na pone. Zile ya kikojeka, kuna zile magonjwa ya kikojeka inakuwa stress tunajua tayari. Lakini kuna mtu mwingine mahali mwenye tulichagua yeye anaweza kupeleka nje na kuweza. No. We want a country where you have unity, not division. Hatutaki ile country yenye ati upate kazi lazima uwe na connection. Tunataka ile country yenye watu wako kwa ofisi ama kwa cheo, watu wako competent, watu wako qualified.
All right, thank you. That's beautiful. Clap for that. The last person, the Kenya that we dream of.
My name is Tango. I'm a medical student pursuing marine engineering and also I am an entrepreneur. My dream for Kenya, I want a Kenya where to realize kuwa the government exists on these issues that things such as unemployment, etc. When we have people, we have youth, other people, the common people, who want solutions to this problem. We want the government to create an environment where they not only solve the solutions, but allow the people themselves to solve the solutions. Also, there is something you touched on the agenda, politicians kutuzia agenda. Umeenda kurepresent au kutuzia agenda, you're not doing sales, you're doing politics. Umeenda kupeleka agenda mbele. That's just what I wanted to
clarify. Thank you. I love that Kenya. I really want to live in that Kenya. Clap for that as we come to the last one so that we don't lock out. Short and sweet.
Yes. My name is former student. I served as sports minister up there. I've just had the results also from MPU, so I'm very, very happy here. Number one, where I want to see Kenya. The cost of production of internet community here in Kenya, that 3% is energy. Like kila kitu, ndio unaona switi, nini, hata hiyo switi umeshika, that 3% energy, the cost. What if today we use that cost of production to 10% or 15%? What will it mean to our own economy? It will mean that companies will be flying in from the most expensive countries to Kenya where it is cheaper. Now, what does this one translate to our own economy? It means number one, when companies fly in, we create employment. So when somebody does his degree, there's already available employment. That's number one. Number two, my friend has talked about corruption. What if we come with a policy in parliament where we have the corrupt politicians?
I agree.
Tunanyonga kwanza, wa pili kunyonga pale kwa Wataka kwa Kenya. Bila waenda hata
Like we change our constitution like
yes, there's no problem. If today we are paying that housing levy, it means we can also have them. Ama ni uongo? Congress power. Congress civic.
Thank you so much, Sharleen. Thank you so much for your contribution. We will end it at that. And to close, we have Morris. Morris is the director and founder of Baraza Media Lab. Umesikia the vision of Kenya that these young people have. Me, unfortunately, umekuja tukimaliza, but tunataka kutuambie, is that Kenya possible?
I think it's possible. So 2022, we had 22 million registered voters. Kenya iko na 75% young people. Those are 18, 24 kwenda hivyo chini, si ndio? I think in 22 only 5 million are the ones who voted. Ademba na Willie na Willis wameregister 1.8 million. So if young people want to change that, it's possible. The key thing isiishie hapa tumechukua kadi. Kabuleo, I think most people who have cards leo ni happy birthday yenyu, ama ni kadi day yenyu, si ndio? Happy kadi day, right? But ikiishia hapa ume waste time yetu by the way. Hata afadhali ungebaki mtaani. Hiyo siku una show up na una show up kwa fuja kupiga hiyo kura because you want somebody who will represent you, and all these things that you've said are possible. In other places they are working. And not hata tusiangalie plus mbali sijui Singapore wapi, no. These things are working. Ghana, the votes count. Botswana, like why is it not working for us? Sindio? So the power is today is the first step. Today is the first step. Leo mmeanza kutamba. For us to get that Kenya that you're talking about, eloquently and very candidly, kwa Kenya sioni kama kuna shortage ya werevu. Ni tuko na shortage ya wasikutumia hiyo werevu yao ku make change. Tunatumia hiyo werevu kwa ulagai na vitu vingine. So I think it's possible. And the numbers don't lie. So tuliambiwa ati kuna tyranny of numbers some time back. 1.8 million registered as of today. Yeah? We have 22 million registered voters. 5 million wali show up. So tuseme 800 wa hii 1.8 wakose ku make it to next year. Waligongwa na ndai pahali, si ndio? Tuko na 1 million bado ya kuchange votes. Rawa miss na how many votes last year? About 200k. 200k. Kwa hivyo tusidanganya ati tuna power. Tuko na power, and the reason why for the longest time the youth have not been on the table is because we could never come hivi together tuseme tuko na 1 million. Sahi nikitaka kuwa DP na kuja na 1 million votes, I go on the table, I say I'm coming with my votes 1 million. Sintakuwa DP. Nyi wase mko na votes sahi, mko na 1.8. Mnaweza enda mseme hii ndio chetu tunataka. Of course si ati nyi wote mtavote the same, but mnaweza. So let nobody lie to you. Ukipatiwa do ikule, then nenda upige kura yako vile unapiga, si ndio? Hata nisikudanganya tu usichukue do, chukua do idishi, but piga kura vile unapiga, si ndio? Ukijua cha unafanya. So me, that's what I wanted to tell you guys, and I want to welcome you to places like Baraza, because for far too long the young people like yourselves have not been given space to talk and discuss and plan together. The first time that mlikuja mli-organize maandamano bila baba kuitisha maandamano. When you organized, na watu wakaogopa hapa kuna shida. Because young people are organizing finally, ni shida. Actually, sorry, not organizing. Young people are mobilizing. Na kuna difference hizo mbili. Mobilizing ni chetu tulifanya 2024. Si ndio? Tulimobilize sasa katoka kwa streets, kila place. I don't know how many counties, like almost 20 something counties came out, 27, right? Chenye tu kuduni kuorganize, which that one is a discussion for later, right? But kama tunaweza mobilize hivyo, we have these spaces for you to come and mobilize and talk amongst your friends, your cousins, whether you're a creative, got this space for creative and media guys, come in here. We'll be registering people on the 28th again, on the 29th, na 30th. Kabu goal ni 6 point something meter. Sindio? 6 point something meter. Then after that, if you want to know more about what we are doing here on a daily basis, you can follow us on Instagram. I think there's Baraza Media Lab Industrial Area. Follow us there. We have activities here every single day. Na tuko Kisumu, tuko Nairobi, tuko Nakuru, tuko in the Riverside, tuko everywhere. Si nika kupe. Tuko every single place yenye utaki tuende, tuko huko. So looking forward to chat and interact na nyinyi wote. But my ending or my parting shot is that they said when you put your phone, we got power, sindio? and now we can take pictures, we can record anything that is going on, but sindio, today you have your power. So usikuje kulia tena. Today you have your power. If you don't exercise it, sa huwezi saidika.
All right, great.
Allow me to say something kabisa.
Kidogo tu nitakuja kwako. Let's appreciate Maurice for giving us the space and time. Ulikuwa unahepa stage. Okay, but your mic I think is on, so someone needs to switch it off ndio hawa vijana wasisikize. Sharleen. Aya, malizia.
It would be a great injustice if I did not say this, and thank you for the opportunity, especially to the young people here and the ones that are going to watch us online. The greatest project you can work on is yourself. And the reason I'm saying this to young people is because in the midst of politics, we support so many people and then we forget ourselves. We are going into the 2027 general elections. We are not all going to run for seats. We are definitely going to support politicians. Make sure the politician you are supporting is going to help you. It is not wrong for you to need support from those politicians because you are offering your time, energy, tears, and sweat to support their agenda. Make sure that you work on yourself so much that if a certain person, you want to work for a certain person if you're not running, they are going to look for you because you have solutions. And lastly, Majenzi, I was privileged to be in the 2022 elections, and young people were rallied to support various politicians. After elections, when members of parliament were voted in and governors, most young people were denied opportunities because they did not have certificates. Hizi ni vitu watakuja kuambia baadaye. Hawataki kuambia saa hii sababu wanataka watumie nguvu yenu kwa bure. Alafu wakishapata kura, wakwambia wewe hata huna diploma, hauna degree, sijui hauna nini. So the greatest project you can work on, and it is not a matter of at UN mbaya. Jupia, you are pushing another person's agenda that can take you to another level. Please make sure you have your papers in order. In the sense that huyu mtu unapushia agenda akikuwa MP, anaweza kukupea kazi ya kuwa PA wake juu uko na certificate. Anaweza kukupushia kazi kuwa director wa certain parastato juu uko na certificate. Tafadhali, madugu wangu na madada wangu wadogo, na waomba kwa heshima kubwa sana, make sure you have your papers in order. So that when you're pushing somebody's agenda, they will not come to tell you, you do not have a certificate, that's why I cannot help you. That will be selfishness from them, but it will also be unprepared for you. Success is when preparedness meets an opportunity. Do not meet an opportunity, yet you are unprepared. I am telling you this because it's not because I don't like you and I don't love you. I have undergone these things. I said I'm going to use my own example and the opportunities I've missed to educate the young people that if you're looking forward to 2027 to support somebody, have your papers in order, prepare yourself well in advance, so that they don't say, the reason we haven't given you a board director or a parastatal director is because we do not have papers. Please, my brothers and sisters, even if you do not get anything else from me today, just learn that the greatest project you can work on is yourself. Have your skills in place, have your papers in place, and I can tell you in the bargaining table of any government, your name has to be on that table.
Fantastic. I love that. Be selfish, work on yourself. At the end of the day, it is about you. Sindio? Haya, Willie.
Yeah, mimi nitasema tu a line from my piece inasema
nataka umalize, wewe ndio utatufungia na line, but closing remarks before we
move. Relax.
Ndio. Haya, fantastic.
We will only have a new generation of leaders when we have a new generation of voters. So chunga hiyo kadi na utoke upige kura.
Wow. Yeah. Lovely. Thank you so much to you, Willie, Sharleen, Willis, Maurice, wote nimeshukuru sana, and to you, clap for yourself for being an amazing audience. You did fantastic. I hope you have learned something and taken something from this conversation, and we will keep going on and on. And as you've heard, you can come back to Baraza anytime they have these conversations going on. And from me and the team that is doing the technical work, This is us, the Alpha House. If you've not, you can check us out on YouTube. Go subscribe. We have amazing conversations, and we will continue to engage young people more and more. And we appreciate you. Watch our content. Be very selfish with your vote. Do not sell your future. Be very selfish with it. Sindio? And as we end, obviously we have a poet on stage. So for me, thank you for watching this episode. We will catch you on the next one. Make sure you catch us every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes that we have. We drop on this channel. But that's it from me and the team. Of course, with a poet on stage, Rasta Pasta. Tufungie na moja.
Kabisa, mimi naitwa Rasta Pasta ama Willie Oeba. Ukipenda unaweza enda pale Instagram, hit follow button. Na Mungu anasaidia. Nikisema story come, unasema story go. Story go, story come. Story come? Story go. Story come. Kabla uniite fellow Kenyan, I must tell you what it is like to be me. Kwa society, kids die every day. In their defense, the police always have something to say. Forget about the money. Tuna spend so much time kwa barabara zimetengenezwa thrice their normal cost anyway. The same SUVs bought by taxpayers' money are given way kwa the same roads have to pay. Because during reign ya hii gava, the youth amekuwa one bullet away from being a hashtag. Talk is cheap. Fortunately, citizens cannot buy that because wako $1 away from the poverty lines. Politicians ndo kona price tag. Our moms wako one demolition away from kulala njaa to kulala inje. Makanga ko only one police stop away from kulose another finje. There's nothing to smile about when I know I am one stray bullet away from being a statistic. Na degree ni makaratasi tu, hata mimi niko na mbili. But now to put food on my mama's table through poetry, I have to be sarcastic. Nasema Kenya, life ni short na siongelei kinyasa. Na akaunti ya mwananchi ni empty kama promises za mwanasiasa. Akaunti ya mwananchi ni empty kama akili ya mwanasiasa. The president is talented in the art ya contempt of court. The law is very clear but his conscience is not. Because when youth depressed, una kazi na serikali inapea kazi wenye unafaa wawe retirement. So mbona una tense na hata mood ya worry? Hakuna hata pesa ya kulipwa peanuts. Siku hizi kila mtu anauza njugu. Au viongozi si wenzetu, wakati wa kura ndio watakumbuka kutuita mandugu. Na serikali ingekuwa inajali what we say, then parliament kungekuwa na headphones na sio speaker. Mchana wanalala bunge na usiku wanataka night allowance, ndio maana inaitwa pay slip. So nyang'anya uwe tangu la mic hata kwa nyumba ameshindwa kuperform. Juu Kenya mwenye anatafuta kazi yako na kazi, kupata kazi ni kazi. Kuna wale wameandikwa kazi ya kufuta watu kazi, wa kupeana kazi ni illiterate kama Sudi, ndio maana bado hamjaandikwa.
Wow.
Na tuachane wa girls wasome, sawa? Juu tambiaje dem alishika ball akiwa high school, education is the key na alishajifungua.
Thank you, Willie. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much. We have to end it at that. But Baraza Media has a scan code there where you can scan and share your feedback. Please usiende kama hujascan. It's very important. Niopea hata next time wakuite when we have more conversations. Otherwise, thank you so much.